Did you find in this situation that at one point in time, Mr. Mitchell may have been justified in using deadly force?
Yes, relatively immediately after the point he was injured. Clearly, there was a weapon. They were in close proximity. He was injured. I think if he had employed or decided to use deadly force fairly, at that point, it would have been, in my mind, it would have been a justified decision.
And are we assuming he'd been cut by Donald Castleberry at that point?
Yeah, he could be mistaken about that. I mean, she may have displayed the knife, and he very well could have been reaching for it and impaled himself on it. I don't know. But he wouldn't necessarily know that under the circumstances, and that wouldn't affect his perception that, the reasonableness of his perception that he had been attacked.
So you found that at one point, while he may have been justified, what was your opinion when the circumstances changed, and when did they change?
For me, the circumstances changed when, after he had been injured, and he opens the door, and I could see on the video that you can see his head outside the car, and you can see her moving into the back seat. Now, to me, that tells me that she's not attacking him. She's trying to get away, and that's as far away from him as she can get, is the back seat. And at that point, the circumstances are changing, and they continue to change. She's in the back seat, as far away as he can get. He suffers no further injury. She's verbally pleading and submitting and giving up. To me, that tells me that the confrontation has, whatever physical resistance she had posed or danger with a knife, she's submitting at that point.
And does the fact that he stated he was being choked with her foot in the front seat affect that analysis?
No. I've had trouble picturing that. And once the door opens, he has room to remove the pressure. I mean, if she did have her foot up against his neck, just leaning out the door would relieve the pressure.
Does he have a duty? I mean, is that retreat? Does he have a duty to do that?
Oh, that's not retreat, no. I mean, retreat would be if he ran away. If he just said, never mind, go, But if he were to get out of the car, for example, he's gaining a tactical advantage. He has her locked in the car. She can't, child-proof locks. The driver's side door can't be opened. I'm not saying that he should have done that, but I'm just saying that would give him, it's not retreat. If he had gotten out of the car, it's gaining tactical advantage and buying time to address her and her fears and talk her down or get help or whatever would be necessary.
And are some of the factors we look at in judging this based on the totality of the circumstances, do we look at the ability to create distance and the ability to have time?
Yes, that can have an effect. You would expect a police officer under fire to take cover, even if he had to back up to do so. That's not retreating. But you do expect a police officer to recognize changing circumstances and be aware of the behavior and the behavior patterns of the person he's confronting and make judgments as to what level of force needs to be continued in order to bring them into submission.
And what if he doesn't recall that the door was open? How does that play into it?
I can't answer. I mean, the door was open. That's one of those objective facts you can look at. He opened it. He had to. Nobody else could have opened it.
So do we get to ignore evidence if an officer can't remember it?
No, you look at evidence and you have to make a judgment based on what that evidence means and how credible the officer's account is of what happened.
So we could still do an objective review whether he remembers that or not? Is that
Yes.
what we're saying?
Well, you have to. There's no, I mean, you have to do an objective review of any use of force. You can't just take the officer's word and be done with it.
Is there any objective evidence you found of the knife being in the back seat of that car with Donna Castleberry?
No, there's no damage to the car. There's no damage to the upholstery. There's no indication that she was trying to attack him. At one point, when he let go of her hands and was getting his gun out, if she were attacking him, I would expect there to be additional injuries. Close quarter knife fights, you know, there's almost no way to engage somebody with a knife in hand-to-hand without getting cut. And the fact that he did not suffer any further injury tells me that, again, she was, in essence, retreating, not attacking.
And is it an important factor that the knife was found in the front seat?
It's an indication that she was unarmed when she was in the back seat.
What if he doesn't know where the knife is? He says he doesn't know. Does that give him the ability to presume that she's got it and she's a threat?
It's not uncommon for officers not to know things. And it wouldn't surprise me that he didn't know where the knife was. But the fact that he was not being further injured, further cut, and the fact that she had retreated to the back seat and her manner of submitting, pleading, giving up, he should have recognized that.
And what if he couldn't hear her pleas?
Again, he should have been aware of the changing circumstances. Her location, the lack of any attack. I mean, I think she's in the back seat kicking at him. I'm not sure that would rise to the threat level of justifying deadly force.